This Sudan's team, a change in goal. Akram El Hadi replaces Almouz Majoub. The other change today sees Mohamed Tayer start instead of Amir Kamal. The captain Haitham, he was sent off the last time Sudan faced Angola in last year's Nations Championship semi-final in Khartoum. All those players, by the way, based in the Sudanese league. Makanga captains Angola. Haitham, another player in his 30s, is the skipper for Sudan. Angola stick with the team which beat Burkina Faso on Sunday. Matthews and Manucho scored the goals in that match. There were major doubts over the fitness of Jalma of Porto and striker Flavio Amado. Both are fit to play. A win would put Angola through to the quarter-finals for the third successive Cup of Nations. Now we do start with Sudan in those red shirts, getting us underway here. The second round of games in Group B at the Cup of Nations for 2012. This Sudan qualifying for the second time in 4 years. Their last was the 08 finals in Ghana, where they lost all 3 initial group games. Worth saying their last Cup of Nations win was the final back in 1970. Their last Cup of Nations goal was 1976. Matt, they are the underdogs here.
Yes, they are, and I think the fact that they all play in their own domestic league is admirable, but not necessarily great for their own football development. Sometimes you need to experience the other cultures, you need to pick up other different ideas, and they'll all certainly know each other really well, and that unity can often be a big part of your spirit. Good conditions for playing out here, the pitch is great, nice and warm for this early game, and a lively little atmosphere as well in this stadium.
It's good so far, yeah. I was going to say the conditions today, Matt, are a bit different to the ones in Bata yesterday.
It was incredible conditions to start with, and incredible that they managed to get 2 games of football played in that stadium, which chance here.
Yeah, Manucho's broken away here. Manucho! Angola score inside 5 minutes, and it's Manucho with his second goal of these Cup of Nations finals. It's the perfect start, but some really loose defensive play there by Sudan.
It was. You can't take any chances when you're the last man. But I had highlighted Manucho and the fact that he wants to do that work, he wants to close people down, and that's where you get your rewards. You might do it 9 times out of 10, get nothing, but the one time he managed to pinch the ball and he ran through on goal. It's a great chance. Doesn't have to go, doesn't have to go against Eldin, but he does, works hard. You can't try and take players on in the back 4. Najim Eldin, a moment to forget for him.
Yeah, had his pocket picked well and truly by Manucho, and the new goalkeeper's first touch is to fish the ball out of his net. 1-0 to Angola, and Manucho underlines their strong start. Sudan qualified as one of the 2 best runners-up in the groups, along with Libya. Didn't win their initial pool. This is Hamid Nazar. Here, and it's Hamid Nazar again now. The crossing chance perhaps, and it goes! It's there, and they've done it! Sudan score their first Cup of Nations goal since 1976. Mohamed Ahmed Bashir is the man who's got it.
Well, quite incredible, isn't it? You talk it up, they just hadn't looked like producing anything, hadn't committed bodies into the box at all. I'd said it had been relatively simple for the centre-halves from Angola, but you have to mark. You have to mark, men. The cross gets whipped in. There's been nothing wrong with their approach play up to this point. What a flip that is for them. Pick up a goal. Great header. Gives himself a yard of space, Bashir. Fantastic header. Beyond Carlos Fernandez into the right-hand corner of the net.
Ali Gagarin against Zaire, 1976, March 1976. And now Mohamed Ahmed Bashir in January 2012. Sudan have had to wait a long time for this goal. It might just re-energise their Cup of Nations campaign.
Yeah, Ross has got to do a lot better. He's drifted in between the 2 of them. Ross sees the flight of the ball.
Here's Jalma, who's had a busy second half so far. Jalma goes down, penalty says the referee. Won by Jalma. Angola now with a chance to retake the lead here in Malabo.
It's a clear penalty. It's a really sloppy piece of defending again. It's Nazar, sticks his foot out. Again, they're talking about body position. Just commits to the foul. Silly. Stick the leg out, you're in trouble. Referee with a perfect position. Sloppy and lazy. He's got to go with the runner. Get his body bent a little bit. Get the knees bent. Poor play. Real setback again for Sudan.
It's Manucho to who they look once more here. Angola. 2 goals in this Cup of Nations up to this point, one today already, and now on the spot to try and reclaim the lead for Angola. Manucho versus Akram El Hadi. Concentration etched on his face. From the spot, big moment here for Angola and for Manucho to score again. 2 for him today. Angola back in front by 2-1.
Akram's frustrated because he's gone the right way. Ball might even have just gone under his outstretched right arm. Good finish though from Manucho, got a good strike on the ball. Yeah, he's really frustrated because he knows he guessed right. Gave himself a chance. He'll be pleased. He'll be pleased to be back in front. Not necessarily sure he'll be all that enthused by his team's performance. See if it goes under his arm. Oh, it does as well. Goes under the right hand. He knows he's gone the right way. It's just about the power and the pace. Keeps the ball on the floor as well. If that just comes off half a foot off the floor, it's easier to save.
Here now is Saif Eldin for Balajabia. Hamid Nazar works it wide. 18 minutes to play in Malabo. First of the day's 2 games in Group B. Yusuf Ala Eldin's ball in. The ball's loose here, and they've levelled the match again. Lax defending. It's 2 apiece, and it's the same man who scored it, I think. Mohamed Ahmed Bashir. What a day for him and for Sudan. They've scored twice now. It's 2-2.
Both from terrible bits of defending. First time he should have been packed up. I'm delighted for him because he's fed on scraps all day, but he's kept himself going. Comes alive when the ball goes into the box, but I think he's the only one in the box, surrounded by 4 Angolans. Well, they're absolutely delighted, and so they should be, because they look like they're up against it in this second half. Intensity gone up from the Angolans. They've made it tough for Sudan. That's just communication. Really, really poor communication. Should comfortably dealt with.
For Lito Vidigal and Angola, it would be 4 points. It would put them in a good position, but they face the Ivory Coast next. Yellow card shown here to, I think, is it Balajabia? Balajabia gets the caution, I think, but he wasn't at risk of a suspension. So another yellow card, this time to the right back for Sudan, as the whistle goes to end a dramatic game here in Malabo, the day's first. And Sudan, who hadn't scored a Cup of Nations goal for 36 years, have scored twice today. Ahmed Bashir with a brace after Manucho twice put Angola ahead, the second a penalty. But Angola, the favourites here, could not break down a really stubborn Sudanese side, and Sudan, Matt, take a deserved point.
They do indeed. Angola's still favourites to go through from this group, but it does put a bit of pressure into that final game against Cote d'Ivoire.
So honours even, 2 apiece in Malabo.